I would now like to introduce the actual presenter of our program, Dawn Hamman. Dawn has been president of the American Topical Association since 2019. She was instrumental in hiring our ATA executive director, Jennifer Miller, as well as Martin Miller as the Topical Time editor and content manager. And during her tenure, ATA has tremendously updated its technology, including a new membership database and a new checklist database. Dawn is an active exhibitor and who creates thematic exhibits and has won the Mary Ann Owens One Frame Grand Award and the Reserve Award at the National Topical Stamp Show at the Great American Stamp Show. She is the first exhibitor to win a large gold award for a picture postcard exhibit. In 2022, she was named among the most influential philatelists in Lynn's Stamp News and has also received the APS Carter Award for National Service to the Hobby. And she, in addition, she is a proud member of our local chapter, ATA chapter number 5 here in Wisconsin. So with that, Dawn, thank you.
Thank you, Frank. I'm so delighted to be here in Milwaukee. I wish there were more familiar faces in the audience, but hopefully they'll get to watch the program later. We ATA members have a warm place in our hearts for Milwaukee. Milwaukee was the birthplace of ATA, and we have many, many members in Milwaukee. So it's always really fun and special to be with you. I am a proud member of Chapter 5. Chapter 5 has been very kind to me. When I started exhibiting in 2012, my very first exhibit won the Chapter 5 Incentive Award. We were in Lancaster that year, and it's a beautiful Amish-made wooden mailbox that's a bank, and it's one of my treasured possessions. So now I'd like to show you a little bit about ATA history, and maybe some of this will be familiar to you people from Milwaukee, and then we'll talk a little bit about ATA now. This is our celebration year, 75 years of leadership and fun with topical philately. Over the next few minutes, we'll explore the captivating legacy and the exciting future of the American Topical Association, from our humble beginnings in a Milwaukee bedroom to a worldwide organization with a reputation for fun, innovation, and excitement. ATA is poised to once again redefine philately for the next 75 years. Travel back with me to the year 1949. The world has emerged from the Second World War, and the Western allies of that conflict form a global agreement envisioned to protect the world from future tyrants. NATO was the acronym for the new North Atlantic Treaty Organization. Not to be outdone, and in part from fear of such alliances, the Soviet Union detonates its first atomic weapon in Kazakhstan. Also in China, communist leader Mao Zedong declared the creation of the People's Republic of China, effectively ending any semblance of the post-war cooperation and plunged China into a brutal communist dictatorship. Meanwhile, an enterprising teenage stamp collector has a unique idea. What if we had an organization for philatelists who collected stamps based not on their country, color, and denomination, but on the topics depicted on the stamps? But I'm getting ahead of myself, aren't I? 75 years ago, the world was a very different place, and nothing demonstrates that more than what it cost to live in the United States back then. In 1949, household staples like groceries came at what seemed like imaginary prices today. A gallon of milk came at a mere 84 cents, while bread would set you back 14 cents for the loaf. And although war era rationing was not a too distant memory, Americans worked to put those years behind them. The average cost for a new car in 1949 was only $1,650. And to fill that hungry gas tank, you were looking at a nice round figure of 20 cents per gallon to hit the open road. Naturally, the American dream wouldn't be complete without a nice new home. The average 1949 cost for a cozy little house was a whopping $14,300. But compare that to America's average annual salary of just $2,959, and the picture starts to come into context. Oh, and you might find this interesting. In 1949, the cost to mail a first-class letter was 3 cents. Shown in this 1965 video with Dean Martin is Perry Como. Very few moving images are available showing the young Perry Como in 1949, but in that year, his recording of Some Enchanted Evening tops the record charts. And if you happen to be a kid lucky enough to have a television at home, you are likely to be watching Hop Along Cassidy. I always think we need some music on this part. Also in 1949, at 3306 North 50th Street in Milwaukee, a family sits down to dinner. I actually looked at Google Images, and this house looks very much the same today, except the trees are much bigger. The Usack family, Gertrude and Lawrence, and their 17-year-old son, Jerry, settle around the table in their cozy home. They often talk about stamps, since Jerry has been avidly collecting since he was 12. Gertrude and Lawrence, realizing the educational value, encourage him. He was drawn to topical collecting and also has an interest in the United Nations issues. But tonight, Jerry has an idea. He explains that prospective topical stamp collectors need help getting started with their hobby. There must be others like myself who are looking for guidance in forming a topical collection. Why don't we get together and share our information through a united body of topical collectors? Jerry later remembered telling his parents. At that time, he said, I think I could find 100 people that would be interested. And so ATA was founded on September 17, 1949. Jerry's bedroom and the dining room table served as the headquarters for the new organization. ATA grew rapidly from 100 initial members. Its journal, Topical Time, launched in 1949, was enthusiastically received, and membership grew rapidly. The first ATA convention with the 200-frame non-competitive topical exhibition was held in 1915 in Philadelphia. ATA's first anniversary was celebrated on September 12, 1950, with a special cachet and a regional convention in Chicago. ATA has held an annual gathering, now called the National Topical Stamp Show, every year since then. Of course, the first thing a topical collector needs is a checklist. That involved a lot of manual searching of catalogs and new issues in the early years. Popular topics were religion, biological subjects such as flowers, birds, etc., Masons, Red Cross, and railroads. Much of Topical Time was devoted to checklists for many topics. Members would send additions, and those would be listed in subsequent lists published in Topical Time. It was a long, arduous process, but the only way to create a topical list in the years before computers. From the early days, ATA has published topical handbooks. These, dedicated to specific topics, sold for $1 each, with some as high as $2 for the book. Today, ATA handbooks are award-winning resources for topical collectors and exhibitors the world over. Small groups of collectors of a single topic began to form. They were called study units. The first was the Casey Jones Railroad Unit, founded in 1950, quickly followed by Americana and Biology in 1951. Study unit topicals have varied over the years as interests of collectors change. Some study units that have gone by the wayside are Churchill, embroidery, meteorology, post horn, rainbows, and tape recording, people who like to use their tape recorder. Stamp clubs also affiliated with ATA, forming chapters. In addition to the US, chapters formed in India, China, Mexico, and South Africa. ATA now has members in 70 countries. The 1960s through the 1990s were years of progress and growth. Topical Time became a full-color publication with photos and features. Membership grew to a high of 10,881 in 1975, but has declined with decreased involvement in the hobby in years since. ATA continued to publish topical handbooks, producing 135 by 1998. Throughout its 75 years, ATA has progressed thanks to the hard work of staff, editors, and many volunteers. Having a good laugh at a show here, founder Jerry Usack and Darlene Thomas. There are too many to mention, but we thank them for keeping Jerry's vision alive. Today, ATA is the leading organization in the world. I think I just missed my cue here, but today, Topical Time is an award-winning, colorful 92-page journal filled with feature articles on many topics, how-to articles, news of chapters and study units, hobby news, and more. The Professional Design magazine is published in both print and digital editions, with the digital edition available as both a PDF download and a searchable on-screen flip book with active link and the occasional embedded video. Each issue combines a variety of feature-length articles, ATA news, and shorter vignettes planned to present a variety of topics. The articles are member-created and often coincide with ATA's online presentations, but more on that in a minute. Originally, ATA checklists comprised the bulk of early issues of Topical Time. As the volume of checklist information became massive, the material was moved into an electronic database. Now, as shown on the screen, the database has been moved to the cloud to make the data more accessible to members and to provide a platform for future enhancements to this most valuable member service. Comprehensive topical checklists are available for more than 1,600 topics in an easy-to-search and order format. Using a similar form to what you see on the screen, members can easily request highly customized searches to find just the right list. These checklists are not available from any other organization in the world. Programs on myriad topics via Zoom, free to all, video recordings of programs to watch at your leisure or show to your stamp club. Classes on topics members request, including making album pages, presentation skills, thematic exhibiting, and more, offered via Zoom and recorded for later viewing at reduced prices for members. A growing resource from ATA is the online directory. ATA members can create their profile, decide what to share, and even show off photos or scans of the collection. Some members use the directory to swap stamps. Others search for members who are interested in the same topics. What you share is entirely up to you. With a sincere focus on making philately fun and engaging, ATA hosts numerous get-togethers and special programs at shows around the country. Obviously, the National Topical Stamp Show, Great American Stamp Show, is a big undertaking, but the association strives to support as many local shows as staffing and budgets permit. I think these slides are from when we were in Sacramento and we had a gold rush theme. ATA offers a dedicated youth section of the association's website. The resources available have more than 500 free pages of topical activities and topical album pages. The popular publication, The Magical World of Stamp Collecting, is also available in the online store. Our youth section was created by two Wisconsin residents, Mary Ann Bowman and Amy Devine. This year, our grand celebration will take place in conjunction with the Great American Stamp Show. This annual show, held at the American Philatelic Society and the First Day Cover Society, is the largest show in the U.S., and numerous seminars, classes, meetings, and fun-filled activities are included. You want to make sure you attend the ATA annual meeting this year and stop by the booth to enjoy all the festivities and some free goodies. GAS, as the show is fondly called, also plays host to our annual topical stamp exhibition, the only U.S. show with all thematic exhibits. As the country's only philatelic exhibition dedicated to thematic philately, NTSS attracts the pinnacle in topical philately. Larry Davidson's Beavers exhibit has achieved tremendous success in competition throughout North America and beyond. By the way, Larry was recently announced as the 2024 Distinguished Topical Philatelist. Dr. Jean Wang combines a professional expertise with her love of topical philately to present the most comprehensive thematic exhibit on blood. While Phil Steger has set the standards for thematic organization and treatment of topic without the massive financial investment common for material and traditional philatelic exhibits, he has several exhibits where he said nothing costs more than $50. Continuing Jerry's vision to see topical stamp collecting enjoy a well-deserved standing in the hobby, NTS makes an historically daunting discipline approachable for every collector. Our goal is to move boldly to the future, using technology to respond to our ever-evolving hobby and provide comprehensive services that topical collectors want. 75 years ago, Jerry Usek had the foresight to plot the course of topical history when he posed a simple question. Today, while his basic goal has clearly been achieved, we get together again to share the ideas and information that will unite the body of topical collectors for the next 75 years and beyond. 75 years, it's been a great topical trip. Hop on and join us. Thank you. Greg, the audience is muted.
Thank you, Dawn. And Greg, she says she thinks the audience is muted.
Can you hear us now?
Yeah, I can hear without now.
Okay.
Okay. Anyone have any questions that they would like to address to Dawn right now?
Yeah. Those presentations, do I need a Zoom connection to watch those?
No, you go right onto the ATA website, Well, you need to have yeah, you can see them on your computer screen. You just go onto the website and go to the section that says videos. And there's a big choice now. We've been doing Zoom programs since the start of the pandemic. So there are a lot. We give usually 2 programs a month through the spring and winter. So take a look there. There's some great topics.
Right.
Just a question, how did you get started collecting?
Well, I did not become a stamp collector until I was age 65. My husband is a lifelong collector, and I would go to stamp shows with him, and I'd take my book and I'd sit and read while he was shopping. And then I got bored a couple of times, and I started looking at the exhibits. And the wonderful thing about thematic exhibits is because they tell a story, you don't really have to know anything about philately to be able to enjoy them. So I would linger over the thematic exhibits, enjoying the story, and I could appreciate all the variety that people put into all the things they could find to put into an exhibit. And so finally one day I said to my husband, you know, if I could do an exhibit like that, I think I'd like to be a stamp collector. So that's how I got started, and that was 12 years ago. I joined the ATA right away because I knew that topics were what I wanted to do. And they hooked me up with Jack Denis, who was president at that time, who served as my mentor and got me started with my very first exhibit. And ever since then, I've been having a great time.
I mentioned to Dawn the other day when we were talking, I remember when she started. I was there. So it's been a great trip to watch her as she progressed to stardom, if you will.
Like many of you, I'm sure I feel like I've made the best friends of my life through philately. I wish I would have started when I was much younger.
One of the great things about anyone wishing to collect jointly issued stamps between 2 countries or more than 2 countries, there's a gentleman in France, his name is Richard Zimmerman, and he has a website. And he has free catalogs that you can access all the way to the beginning. It's just a fantastic experience to see this. And I've submitted photographs of stamps from US and others. And I've been emailed by people from the United Arab Emirates, the Netherlands. These people are wonderful. They tell me anything that I have difficult finding, they will find it for me. It's just a great experience, and I think anyone with that wants to collect jointly issued stamps will find the same experience.
You can also, if you're collecting a topic, join one of our study units where you find people that are also passionate about that topic. Almost all of them have journals with wonderful information. There are a lot of great resources out there for topical collectors. And that you could find it all on our website. A lot of the information is right there. And you don't even have to be a member. You could go and look at our checklists, find out how many stamps there are for a certain topic that you might be interested in. You don't have to be a member to do that at all. There's lots of interesting browsing you can do, but of course, we'd love to have you be a member.
Anyone else? Right.
So Dawn, how did you find Jennifer and Martin Miller? What was the background when they started digging into ATA?
Well, you're asking very thought-provoking questions, Brian. I was with Vera Feltz, who was our previous executive director, at the show in 2016 in Atlanta. And Jennifer was a brand new collector then, and she came with her husband, who also was a longtime collector, and they came to the ATA booth, and she joined that day, and we chatted for a long time, and I thought, what a warm, wonderful young woman. I want to stay in touch with her and see how she progresses with her stamp collecting, and I did. And so when we knew that Vera was going to retire, I thought, well, I'm going to talk to Jennifer. And she was interested. She had a long learning curve because she had not done this type of work before, but she is incredibly bright. She has such a wonderful personality. All of the ATA members that call the office comment on how well they're treated. And she's really brought ATA to a new era of progress that I'm not sure if we would have achieved, certainly without having her. And at the time, Wayne Youngblood, also Wisconsinite, was the editor of Topical Time. He decided to retire. He'd been the editor for 12 years and decided that was a long run and he wanted to try something else. So then we did hire Jennifer's husband, Martin, who is a very accomplished graphic designer and marketing person, wonderful writer and artist. And so they're a team now, and we tease them about every mealtime is an ATA meeting, and they're working on something new and doing something special for us all the time.
Anyone else? Well, thank you again, Don.
Thank you. My pleasure to be here. Have a great show.
And thank you again. And please tell John I said hello.
Okay, I will, Frank. I hope to see you in Florida.
Okay. And well, I'll be at gas.
All right, wonderful.
Yeah. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.
Okay, thanks, everybody. Bye.